Hello BAME farm fans. This video is supposed to be about the round baler and changing net wrap. What happened here? Well, I think we had a bearing failure. Something happened. There was plenty of grease, that's for sure. Lots and lots of grease. It's greasy. It's not hard or nothing, so it's not like there was some of that red grease that got hard and cakey. This stuff is very fluid, definitely would get in between the rollers and stuff. But this one went out. So I don't know what the lifespan is for a number of hours, but I do know back in 2011, this side got a new spindle because Dad dropped it in a sinkhole or a washout or a groundhog hole or something in the spring way back then and broke the spindle off. So I know that one has more recent wheel bearings, we'll say. This one I have no clue. They could be original. I don't know. I've never done wheel bearings on this guy. So I mostly just end up doing wheel bearings on the loader. I did it on one of the little Fords once. So this would be just exciting and greasy and messy and muddy now. It always happens when I'm not watching. Like I was out here. These were some of the ruts I made in that one video where it got dark. And I was trying to at least push the sides back in. This is where I almost got stuck, where I had to back up and get a run at it. And I'm kind of pushing some of the mud back in. Pretend like they're less deep. I mean, we weren't sinking too much, but enough, obviously. And I wasn't even cutting across ruts right here. I was, going up and back and finding a smooth spot to turn around, just trying to press the edges of the mud in. And obviously I wasn't watching this tire because I was on the other side and we just buried it. I wonder if the roll around, the floor jacks will lift this out of the mud, or whether I got to bring a tractor over here and use a 3-point. Probably had rollers running around loose or something.
Yeah.
Because that nut looks a little chewed up.
It is.
Probably the last thread or two on the stub there is a little so-so also. What did I give? Where's the lip? There it is. Try to punch these out and maybe we can get lucky in some auto parts place. We'll have these bearings.
It's boogered.
Oh, or is that you getting bearing pieces off?
Bearing pieces off.
I got one race out. Flip our tire. There it is, a nice ring of grease. Okay. Fine, yeah, there's little grooves in the casting to give a better access point to the race. A couple more taps. And it should fall out. Yep, there it went. 2 races. Gonna need some rags to get the dirt off there.
Yeah.
Where's the seal's way back in there?
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to get out.
Well, it's made to be on the spindle. It's anchored on the spindle.
How so?
Instead of being in the
Hub.
In the hub.
Yeah.
It seals against the hub. It doesn't seal against the spindle.
Yeah. And it's probably not happy about it, just the fact that it's now jammed full of mud. That could be the tough part. Bearing should be easy. I don't know if we can see it, but right there on the hub is something. It's not smooth. It's where the seal's supposed to ride. We do have another one of these hubs to examine and maybe use. So I found out something really interesting this morning about these hubs. As we went to the dealer for the bearings instead of going to our most trusted local auto parts place that actually carries Timken bearings, that there is a wear liner put in these hubs for the seal to ride on. And I don't know whether I'm going to get this out of here nicely or if I'm just purely going to destroy it out. That doesn't quite take care of some of the markings, but I can see where the seal rides, so it's going to be good enough. But I'm curious just how much destroying I will get to do to get this thing out of here. Because I'm not doing too well at getting it to move. I'm bending it. So I wonder at what point I can just swing away and go for sheer destruction like I'm doing right there. It's just a little, probably extra heavy sheet metal ring. Let's go for full destruction, shall we? Ow. Not my thumb. Well, it goes pretty far down in there. Now, if only this thing would separate better. With a little bit of destruction, anything will get fixed. See, I would have known this had we gone to the dealer. Would not have known that ring existed. There's the cap, I cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Okay, with enough destruction, that pops out.
Before too, something.
Yeah, well, they're not far out.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't. Yeah, this never made a video, but the 14 had the spindle break, and luckily we have it to replace this cap because the one that was on here now has a big hole in it. Probably from the rollers going out. Oh, that's the remnants. The new one won't be so smashed. I've got to look in our goodies box here. Yes, it's sold as a kit, which is delightful. There's our new seal for the back. Got a gasket for the hubcap. This is that ring I destroyed to pieces to get out of there. Let's see, looks like the small bearing is boxed up as a set. No. Okay guys. Hopefully that's the small race, so is the big one. This box is heavy enough. That's all one set. Okay. Please tell me these are... Oh, they say USA. It's Timken bearing. Ah, good. I was worried there for a second. Now the joy. Putting these in. Which I definitely want to put this race in before the ring. Take a look at our lovely ring. There's not much to compare. This one's circular, that one's not. I don't remember like this bottom ring being as it is. And we wouldn't be able... Oh, well, the race could go through it, so you don't have to replace it. But I'm going to put the race in first. It'll be much easier without this in the way. We've seen me do this many times, so we're going to set it in here and come back, and magically it's going to be in place. Voila! 2 races are in. If you don't know how to tap a race into a hub, well, I've done that multiple times. And I guess I'm not looking to teach that sort of stuff here. Not to say that's too basic, but it eats up time and I don't like fix-it videos anyways. Now it seems to me that there's like schmutz of some sort on the inside. Like it's awfully sparkly on the inside of this ring, so I'll try to clean it up. I guess we did. And we're just gonna gently tap it in. You know, this is a bad thought to have right now, but I think it'll tap in nicely. It seems to be moving. I should have put this in the freezer, but it wouldn't hold the heat long enough because it is so small. Done with enough hammer tapping. Looks like we're down in there. So this is all done and prepped to go to the field and put the tractor back together. That bearing's packed. That one's already in. We got a bunch of grease everywhere. Thanks to probably a bunch of rags and some diesel fuel, the spindles down here is clean and not all covered in mud. That seal's in place. And the seal goes on this axle piece first, and this is not sliding in. How hard was it to slide that bearing on?
Shouldn't be.
Huh.
I mean, it should wobble on, but...
Well, it started. That's a non-kosher way to do it.
Have some friction when you get to the seal.
Yeah. Well, that's started. I guess we can tighten it up with the nut. And the race is like right at the very edge. There's not a whole lot of extra.
Yeah, shoulder.
Yeah. Hopefully we got all the metal shavings out. When we see, I think this is directional.
For certain, no.
Oh. We'll just go that way with it.
Yeah.
And the nut was six-sided, now it's a little round. Well, nut started. Not very far though. And with some lovely plier action, we'll get it there. I think that was my girlfriend calling. We'll call her back in a minute. Dad is racing off to get a cotter pin because I guess we both forgot to grab one. So I'm playing the jacking game. That just sounds lovely, doesn't it? And hopefully I'm gonna get this high enough we'll have the tire back on. So all we're waiting on is that cotter pin and putting the cap back on. I got it all tight and adjusted. Seems about right, I guess. I was able to get the nut all the way down to where I couldn't turn it anymore. But surprisingly, the hub still spun. And it wasn't excessively hard. Like, I've tightened them down real tight and just about gotten the bearings to lock up from, you know, pressure. Obviously, you don't want that, then you got to back it off some. That makes sure you get them seated down good and everything. And I got to that point and backed it off a little bit, and it doesn't turn any different. So yeah, we got the jacks here on these wood blocks, trying to keep them from sinking in the mud so quick. Except I'm gonna run out of wood blocks here in a second, because I guess I could turn that block for an inch or two more, but I can't have this be in the high block. Plus I got all this mud in the way that I gotta put back in the hole. That'll help. Oh, might be able to get a tire underneath there, but I think I've still got quite a ways to go. Hold that. Yeah, we got half the hole to go. Oh, we got that. That'll work. Even have to lift the tire a wee bit. So yeah, it's been a week without forecasted rain. It's a good thing, because I got to do the hay that was supposed to be done yesterday today. Today's planned on hay and tomorrow's hay still, so 3 days worth of baling now into 2, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. The round baling will go quick enough. I can pump out the round bales. Now I might wait to tighten those tight till I get a cap on, because I'm sure I'm going to rattle some dust loose everywhere. But we'll run them in. Yeah, you can see there's like some welds in there that this has come apart on somebody before. Well, that one's good and tight. That one's a little so-so. We'll have to check these when we get home. With a wrench that we don't have. Oh.
Try with the pliers, see if it goes.
It's just this one because there's a bit of weld right behind it. I got a little bit more on that one. Okay. I hope the wheel didn't fall off when we put weight on it. It'll probably sit there. It's when we roll. That's when the problem could arise. There's no problems. But you know what I'm getting after. Now I gotta load all this stuff up. Good thing we brought both jacks. Because if you heard them squeaking there while lifting, that was not... Well, I don't like when the jack makes that much noise. They should make noise. They're fairly new. It's the sideways pull because the jack lifts in a radial motion instead of straight up. But we had to peel this off the ground, so a bottle jack would not have gone too well. Well, the engine still works. Well, the starter still works, the engine still runs. We got a wheel back on down there. And now we're gonna find out here in a second if we roll. See if we did this right. Yeah, we don't need reverse. Yep, we're moving. We haven't fallen down yet. I was just trying. You can kind of see the mud squish around down there. Just trying to half pack it back into the ruts. All I wanted to do before I got started baling yesterday. And by the time, you know, when this broke, and by the time I was bailing, the one local auto parts place that I like a lot because they carry American bearings was closed. But I am happy we called the dealer because we wouldn't have gotten that ring from an auto parts place for the seal to ride on. There we go. Smash your mud back in. I need to make one more pass to make sure we get where I ran the spindle into the ground and left that pile of mud. So I think this is rough back here because it's so wet. The grass grows up in mounds to create its own like high, its own high spot that makes it rough, like the crowns of the patches of grass, and then the rodents run through where it's not, and that packs it down just a wee bit, and the water sits in between the crowns, and all of a sudden each tuft of grass has got its own high spot. And then it feels rough. I'm sure there hasn't been cattle back here in over 10 years. Man, this one side I cannot get to go down in very well at all. Probably because it pushed so much out. Oh well, we tried. It's less bad than it was. Let's go and get our hay over there.